Hello, Sharks. My name is Tarana, and I want to be honest with you. Think about platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Times of India. All of these are forms of instant news. But all of these also have another thing in common. They fail to keep teenagers in mind while writing that content. Can you guys agree? I know a lot of you have teenagers. Would they ever read the newspaper? No. Right. So, what do teenagers have left? They'll go to gossip magazines, which have a lot of hearsay and very little political news. And it's also bad for their mental health because the teen magazines raise so many high standards that teenagers just can't keep up with. So then what's the third option? Something I like to call doom scrolling, which is endless media consumption and not learning anything. So what are they going to do? I know there's a lot of smack about this generation, this generation does that, this generation spends all the day on their phone. This generation is so lazy. But have you ever thought of why? Because they've never been given the outlet, they've never been given the information with which they can take the initiative. I know that children like to learn. I know a lot of you do too because that's why you're here. And I know that children and teenagers need a chance. They need a platform that will give them the education that they need other than school and will empower them. There are 253 million teenagers in India, and my brand, Addo, can help them. Because teenagers will lack awareness and knowledge because we are not given access to it in a way that we can relate to. All of these news these days has lots of jargon that teenagers won't understand and a lot of negative aspects and negative points of view, which is not good for their formative minds. So here I bring to you Addo. It's an online newsletter for ages 13 to 18, which curates information, news, and politics for teenagers so that they can be socially, politically, and self-aware and more prepared for the world. The articles in my magazine will have content that is easy to read for people with short attention spans and busy study schedules, aka teenagers. It will also have various topics including news, politics, sports, entertainment, and even business. Because teenagers spend 5 hours a day on their phone, but wouldn't you rather they learn something worthwhile? Our newsletter comes with an online subscription, and it also comes with a separate option of audios. We call these our audio pods, and each time a new issue comes out, there's a cluster of audios which is just a spoken form of our articles themselves. But they make it easier for teenagers to learn on the go with their strict schedules, with all their tuitions and classes and school. And it's also more fun because we bring in specialists so that they can teach teenagers more than what our articles can do. So these are other applications. These are other platforms. They have all sorts of faults which are not designed for teenagers because they're just keeping adults in mind. So they won't work. So we don't currently have a platform specifically for the teenagers, which is what I want to do. My magazine, Addo, will create a safe space for teenagers where they can access information, learn about the world, and grow, because that's what every teenager needs, a chance. So my ask from you is 30 lakhs with 10% equity to initiate phase 1 of my plan.
Hi, Tarana.
Hello.
Quite interesting. First question, do you know what are the articles or the newsletters online available for not the teenagers that we're catering to, for the other audience? Have you ever did a research on that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't.
Can you name some, like probably?
As in,
Say probably I want to read something online.
Yeah.
Are you aware about the such newsletters or magazines available online?
Yeah, there are a lot of newsletters available online, but all of them are not cater to teenagers well. They are all keeping the general population in mind. It's a very big generalization, but
Probably that's what I'm coming to. So probably for the general population, there are newsletters, as you said.
yeah.
I can name like the Ken, the Morning Context,
Yeah.
a lot of them. Your Story, INC 42, a lot of them are there. This audience would love your idea to be picked up.
Yeah.
They are catering to the general population, and they would definitely love to pick up your forte for teenagers and announce it. And recently, just for as an advice, I am connected to Madhav Chanchalani, who is the founder of The Arc. It's a
Okay.
recently formed company. They are coming up, they are growing fast. That can be a good audience for you to penetrate the B2C, directly going to the users and selling it might get difficult, but if you partner out, say the Arc has 15,000 users, you partner out and you will get easy users for your platform. That's something that you can work upon. Another thing, as we are catering to the youngsters or the teenagers, so this is basically the pricing, right?
Yes, this is the pricing. So we have two separate subscriptions for the audio and the written version. So I don't know if you can see here, but the written version is, so it's a fortnightly issue. The written version is 100 rupees. The audios will be 150 because they have the added value of those specialists coming in and actually creating a discussion like a podcast.
I'll be honest, I have literally wasted 6 months of mine behind trying to capture attention of the users, because I belong to a company which is trying to go to the B2C market. So just as an idea, the attention span of an individual has decreased. And for teenagers, definitely. It is 8 seconds right now. So probably the articles that you would want to create has to be so efficient, because it's very easy to scroll and it's hardly 2 seconds. So that is something, if that can be cracked, then I don't think so the pricing is a problem.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think like when people think that when you add a lot of pictures and interesting stuff, you take away the content, but that's not true at all. But like, so what my magazine will do is create a lot of like enticing designs, engaging designs, and also the content itself will be in an easy to read language. It won't be daunting like newspapers are, because you see Economic Times में it's like tiny handwriting. It's all so condensed and it has so much jargon that teenagers don't know. It's kind of overwhelming to consume that news.
And what is the cost that you'll be putting in? Like, say for example, 30 lakhs, how it is going to be used?
Okay, so can I just... So for the website creation, there will be 2 lakhs. In phase 1, I will employ 5 writers, 2 journalists, 1 graphic designer. Then for the marketing cost, it will be 6 lakhs. And for other costs, it will be 4 lakhs. So the total cost comes up to 30.
Just one last piece of question, then probably we'll move on. If you haven't heard about it, FinShots. There is something called FinShots.
Okay.
Started by 3 guys based out of Ahmedabad. They're studying in IIM. They started with a 3-minute or a maximum of 5-minute newsletter every day. Every day you select a time, 9, 10, 11, whatever you see. They send this newsletter. That's something that they've started. And probably, rather than jumping on the full stack model, you can probably start off with a small thing like this. All right? A small mailer or a WhatsApp being pushed out to the users.
Yes, so I plan to have free users for my written newsletter as well. Like it'll give them a little kind of promo, or like a short part of our magazine, so that they can get the idea and they can use that itself, or they can buy the subscription, get the full content.
Yep, and so just use this specific concept called Octalysis framework.
Can you repeat?
That is basically for the gamification of things.
Yeah.
We all love when there are certain rewards coming in. We love the likes and comments.
Yeah.
So that's specifically gamification. That might help, and probably that's from my side.
Okay.
Rushabh has almost covered so many aspects, but still, one very crucial part is that nowadays data, news, articles, video, audio, earlier that used to be a challenge. Now the challenge is the filtration of it. You actually have so much plethora of data, video, audio coming up towards you from YouTube, from Twitter, from all the social medias, even the paid versions. There are like hundreds of paid versions of various data subscription which people subscribe based on their interest and their passion. So for teenagers, the hook factor is important. How will you hook? What would be that connect that addiction which they will have for your particular news items. Which, and why news? Today the biggest question is are news important? The way the fake news is increasing, the way irrelevant topics are getting more and more limelight into this news in the entire news ecosystem, are even the important. So you will have to create that niche, that differentiation for your articles, for your magazine, wherein there should be a hook factor for the teenagers. That is one takeaway from me. Second point is filtration would be the key. If you are able to crack that how you will filter, because there is so much data available freely. If you are able to filter it based on the needs, and if you, as Rushabh rightly said, validate it, start with a small thing, give it free of cost, and work towards it. Use whatever money you raise today or tomorrow, use a part of it to create an audience. If you have 1,000 people who are using it and then monetize it, they will be then liking to pay for the data, the content which you are sharing with them. This is very good. I would like to see more about it, and then we can connect.
So the thing is, as you rightly said, there is so much data, possibly an infinite amount of data in the world. But if teenagers have access to it, like I said, their screen time is 5 hours a day. So who knows what content they are accessing? There's tons of fake content as well, inaccurate content, and misleading and negative content. So the hook for the teenagers is this is an escape from that world. This is an escape for a world that was not curated for them. This is an escape so that they can consume knowledge without biases, without misinformation, and about topics that actually interest them. And for the parents, of course, they don't want their kids to be consuming inappropriate or unsafe content. Like right now, a kid could probably Google how to suicide and they'd find it. So if the parents would definitely want to divert their kids into my newsletter, which is actually a safe space for them.
I have another question on the audio podcast, right? You have mentioned about that, right? And you have kept it the very low pricing on that, right? So
no, it's actually a higher price than my newsletter.
It's a higher price, yeah. So how do you differentiate with the Google podcast or TEDx podcast and those kind of stuff, right? Yeah, because you understand, right? The kids or the 13 to 18 years segment you are targeting, they also have a background of urban lifestyle and those kind of, and they are already aware of this audio podcast coming off Amazon, Google, and other stuff, right? So how do you differentiate that?
Yeah, so that's the thing. We'll maintain a balance because there are like two polar kind of podcasts that exist. One is for adults, and those are very good and informative, but they are also not relatable to teens. They don't have the language that teens will understand. And then the other side of the spectrum is very childish kind of podcasts, which treat children like as little kids, yes, but then teenagers are not little kids. They're growing into the world. So they need something that's in between, that fine line, which like shows them that they're seen and also respected.
And do you see this particular phase one cost, right? Can you use technology and optimize this, because this seems to be a 30 lakhs is a huge amount, right? And I could see you can use a technology like generative AI for graphic designer. It can create images for you with a $20 subscription or $30 subscription. At the same time, content creation also, it can also help the optimize the content, and as well as other website creation also, yeah.
I think the core of my business is a human touch, but for the audios, when we're starting out, we're going to have like AI readouts and like AI just like reading out the words itself. We're not going to have real people, but later on I want to incorporate the human touch when we welcome specialists onto the podcast.
Okay.
And obviously I've calculated and I'll have a very high return rate. For example, if I have 3,000 subscribers, then in 1 year I will make 72 lakhs revenue. I have the math right here. 72 lakhs revenue. So 42 lakhs profit, which is a 40% profit margin. So you see it's huge. And because I'm not spending huge amounts on the transport and the printing of all of this, and because teenagers are so tech savvy nowadays, I think this can go far, because the work put into one issue can spread across thousands, millions of people.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think I can mentor you for once in a 15 days or 20 days because there are some technology elements I can provide you my consulting on that. Yeah, and then looking forward to work with you.
Okay, thank you.
So here's the thing which I can do. Tarana, 30 lakhs is quite a huge amount for the niche that we are in. The initial target is to go to the market. That's the most critical thing. Everybody talks about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's or even a WhatsApp. You need to first create that niche, go to that number of users, free users, without bothering about the cost and everything.
Okay.
Once you touch the 5,000 figure mark, I can help you get connected to the Ken or the ARC. That is probably, but the first point is to validate the business, how it has been accepted by the teenagers, how many frequency they check the news. So probably I can help you out as a mentor to reach to that 5,000. Two specific things. One which I told, the Octalysis framework, that is one of the book, which probably I'll love to give to you. And the other one is Community Masters. These are the two books which I have personally read, which can be used to you. And that's on the mentoring side that I can definitely offer. Once it is 5,000, forget either of us. I'm definitely sure a lot of other companies would be ready to take this ahead.
Right, Tarana, an amazing model. As people have offered really into the technological thing. One basic thing which is really very important is the content which you're going to put in your website or what will be your articles like. So maybe I can mentor you for that particular because my specific work area is teenagers which I work with. So before you put the content, we can have a run through whether it will connect with the target audience or not. That for that particular thing, I think I'll be of great help to you and I'll love to really be with you for that perspective.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think you have got already enough mentorship and everything. So I think, of course, she can help you and he's going to help you in other ways. So good luck with that. And I really liked your idea.
Thank you for your time.